Oh. There we go. It's the Hoop Call, episode 25. Tobe, so much has changed since we last chatted. It's unbelievable. Let's rock and roller. Welcome back to the Hoop Call, episode 25. The UK voice for all things NBA. We're now live. We do lives instead. I'm laughing because we do it live. If you're watching on YouTube, Ollie's having a bit of a nightmare. It's absolutely world-class entertainment. But there we go. Here we are. Guys, we're in the conference finals already. Playoffs are so weird like that. So many games, but it seems to fly by. So much to talk about. You know what I mean? There's going to be a dark horse champion this year. Big teams are gone. Big players are gone. Big players are injured. It's been ridiculous. I've loved it. I've hated it. I've been everywhere in between. Let's do this. So I just like that bit in the song. Who we got today? We got a gang. I'm going to introduce you in a minute, but to remind you lot, follow at the Hoop Call on socials, the Hoop Call on YouTube. Make sure you click the link to the bell. That way you get the notifications when we're going live, and just hop on, vibe with us, join with us. Top class entertainment on your way. Who we got with us today? I'll let the music drop. Right, who we got today? We have the full Fab Four with us. I'm about to take them off mute. Tobes, I feel like it's a classic, but it only ever is if you deem it so. So please bring yourself in.
Howdy, all my gentlemen. Howdy, all my people.
There it is.
We're back for another big classic.
Oh, too good, man. The NBA is honestly too good. K-Dot and Ollie are back. K-Dot, say hello to Hoop Nation.
Hoop Nation.
There he is. Ollie, say what up. You sorted out your little technical issues, I presume.
Yeah, we're all good to go, rocking and rolling.
Thank you very much.
What happens when you're alive now?
Yeah, man, it's fun, man. I'm not gonna lie, it's a lot of fun. Right, okay. To remind you lot, a lot has happened in the NBA. We are now in the conference finals of the NBA playoffs. This is the hot part of the season. Let's bring you up to date. We'll do the thing where we go east and we go west. We're gonna go east first. It's the EastEnders drums. Now, just to remind you guys of the bracket, we're down to 2 in the conference final for the Eastern Conference Championship. Their series starts tonight. If you haven't noticed already, the first seed and the second seed are gone. Philadelphia bounced. Brooklyn on their way to Cancun. Madder than mad. So because so much has happened in this last week, what I said to the boys, boys, this is how we're going to do it. I want everyone to bring a bit of analysis, bit of description, and a hot take, and we're going to discuss it. And that's how we'll structure this discussion today, because a lot has happened in each conference. I'm going to start, and I'm going to talk the Milwaukee Bucks. Now, as I said, to remind you guys who haven't been following closely, the Milwaukee Bucks are now in the Eastern Conference Finals. They did that by defeating the Brooklyn Nets in 7 games. They went on the road on a Game 7 and won in overtime. Brooklyn home, Kevin Durant home, Kyrie Irving home, and on the treatment table, James Harden home, treatment table. Madness, innit? Madness, honestly. But I'm going to start by putting respect.
Put some respect on my name.
On the Milwaukee Bucks name.
Y'all saying my name, put some respect on.
And I don't want to start on a negative note, but I just want to say this to you guys, all right? In the NBA, we sometimes get trapped by the narratives. The same things that are so entertaining to us also trap us, right? I say all this to talk firstly about Kevin bleeping Durant. World-class, unbelievable player. There is absolutely no doubt in that. There's absolutely no world in which he is not world-class. But what I want to talk to you guys about today is narratives and the whole best player in the world thing, okay? KD, I feel to me, for some reason, and that's what I don't like. That's what I don't like. So let me tell you some facts. I don't want to start negative, but these aren't even negativity. This is just facts. This is Rafa Benitez of me, okay? Regarding Kevin Durant. He's at OKC. He does not win a title at OKC. 2016, he blows a 3-1 lead to the Golden State Warriors. He had that 73-9 team down. He blows that lead. Facts. If any point you guys disagree with me, just jump straight in, okay? Otherwise, I'm just going to keep rolling. So facts, okay? He then moves to the Golden State Warriors. He wins back-to-back finals MVPs. He plays fantastically. But the facts remain. Without him in the lineup and Steph Curry there, the record of the Golden State Warriors is 32-4. That's without him, yeah? With him and no Steph Curry, the record is 28-18. That's facts, yeah? We're now in 2018. No, we're now in 2019, the playoffs. KD goes down. The Golden State Warriors still managed to win 2 playoff series, including sweeping through the finals of the Western Conference, correct? They're on course to probably beat the Toronto Raptors until Klay Thompson goes down. Facts. So that's without Kevin Durant. KD then comes to the Nets, injured first season. This season, gets to the playoffs, second round. Kyrie goes down. To you guys is I don't understand. My first question to you guys is what I don't understand is what have we learned about Kevin Durant that we don't already know? Why is this sort of hype building up around him? Am I being harsh?
May have lost you on like the vital question bit. You're saying you're challenging KD, and
I'm saying we have seen this from KD before. He is a great scorer. He can play fantastically, but he has never got it done on his own or as the juggernaut, the engine. He's never got it done, and he continues to do that. Fact or no fact? KD, I know you're with me on this. That's facts. So what have we learned differently? Why is he suddenly the best player in the world? Why is everyone saying, oh, he's been so... Like, he played well, but do you agree with me that we've learned nothing new from KD? He hasn't shown anything different, and he's just a fantastic player. Can we just accept he's a fantastic player and move on from that?
All right, hang on a sec. What we've learned is he's still a fantastic player.
Okay,
and I say that because he's just come back off a potentially career ending. No one. Let's put it in perspective. First of all, it was like, would he be what he was? Tick.
Okay.
And secondly, has he even maybe got better than his old self? Potentially, tick. Some of the stuff he was carrying, his back is broken because he's carrying that team for some series. So I wouldn't say we learned anything new, but what he did is he proved that he's still got it in the bag, which is impressive.
Fair enough. K-Dot. I'm going to ask you first question. For you, who is the best player in the world? Shout out Deepak Memi. Salute.
I think right now, I think I have to say Giannis. He beat KD.
Thank you very much. Right, stop there, I'm coming back to that. Thank you. Ollie. Best player in the world right now.
If you're saying to start a team that is going to get you off to win a championship, I'll pick Kevin Durant.
But he just got...
And don't give me this, Giannis beat KD.
Ollie.
You put Joe Harris and switch Chris Middleton on that team.
But this is the whole point. I'm glad you said that because this is the whole point.
Giannis doesn't win without them.
Listen to me. This is the point I'm making. everything. This is what makes you a superstar. Not everything can go perfectly. You're supposed to triumph in adversity. That is the point. That is the point of why you're Kevin Durant. We've seen players put up numbers. This playoffs. And this brings me to my second point. Both what you and K-Dot said. This is bringing me to my second half of this conversation. Right? Giannis, in this series, I've written it down for you. 31.9 points per game. 12 points. Yeah, I'm here. Yeah. Got you. Okay. 31.9 from the field. 12.9 rebounds. 3.6 assists. 57% from the field. The W, 40 points in the game 7. Hits the shot over KD. KD goes 0 for 6 in overtime. Tell me what I'm missing here. What KD's the only superstar that gets a pass there. Giannis went to his house, game 7, superstar on superstar, snatched his chain, gave him a ticket to Cancun and said, I'll see you next year, son. Facts.
Starting to sound like
It's facts. I'm sorry, it's facts.
It starts to sound like me.
This is not speculation. This is not conjecture.
Skip. Talking about playing overtime. What about the rest of the 7 games?
Mate, I told you 31.9 points, 12.9 assists, 3.6. Yeah, 12.9 rebounds, 3.6 assists, 57% from the field. W.
Who's guarding him?
You can't guard him.
A dead-legged Blake Griffin.
Oh, okay. So now all of a sudden they're Blake. Once I thought they were the big four. They were the big. When Blake Griffin was hitting a double in game 2, everyone's like, he's back now. Listen, if you're the best player in the world, you triumph in that adversity.
What? Okay, I'll let you.
I'm just saying all I'm saying is to you guys, that's what happened. That's what I saw with my own 2 eyes. So he needs all 3. He had the best 3-point shooter in the NBA on his team.
Oh man!
And how was what was Joe Harris' percentages in the playoffs?
He had him on his team. So what?
34% from not just from 3, but from the field.
Ollie. But this is what I'm saying. If you are a great player, you overcome that adversity. So you're saying, all right. So Brooklyn. So not only does KD have to have his full roster with him, the team has to be shooting
full roster,
45% free.
He needs
elite.
He needs at least Kyrie.
Okay, Ollie. What was Drew Holiday shooting like? What was Chris Middleton shooting like in games 1 through 5?
Chris Middleton was awful in the first game.
He was. I think the last 3 games he was all right. Before that, he was trash.
But they were all healthy. They were all healthy.
The Milwaukee Bucks shot, I think, 30% from 3. I think even their free throw shooting for the series was whack.
But they were healthy, mate. James Harden was just there for. He was there for show. He was there for show, wasn't he?
You have to bear. Okay, that's a separate point. You have to bear in mind, if the Brooklyn Nets are healthy, no one's beating them. So that doesn't prove anything. Doesn't prove because nobody is beating them. There's probably no team in history that's beating them. So it doesn't really prove anything if KD wins with
Middleton averaged. He averaged 25 points that series. Middleton.
What was his shooting percentage?
His shooting percentage. All right, his shooting percentage 40%. 40% from the floor, and 36% from 3.
Trash. That's the second best player, and you're saying with your chest that
who was the Nets fittest second player? It wasn't Kyrie.
Okay,
it wasn't Harden.
K-Dot, I don't know if you want to chime in here. Yeah, James Harden. At first, I was like, you know what, he's a warrior, but a part of me is like, as a doctor, I'm like, you can't play 53 minutes with a grade 2 hamstring tear. I'm like, what percentage of it was him injured, or what percentage of it was it playoff Harden? I couldn't quite make it. If you watched it though, he just wasn't moving. I was like, oh my god,
he wasn't pushing the ball up the court. He looked injured.
He played 53 minutes. Like, well, I don't know what the coaching situation was. I mean, they're coaching terrible. Anyway, listen. Let's not divulge too much. I've just told you what happened, and it is what happened. Giannis went on the road, snatched the game 7 in KD's face, shot the shot over him in his face in over. That's what happened. I'm sorry, Ollie, it's frustrating you, but it is literally what happened. I say all this to say, I think that Giannis has been a little bit underappreciated from this series, and I think KD's contribution's been overhyped. He lost. Donovan Mitchell was putting up numbers, lost. Didn't Jason Tatum drop 50 against Brooklyn? Bounced. He lost. So,
No,
so how?
yeah, I agree with you. I think there's not been enough. The narrative on Giannis was that he doesn't get his team over the hump. He doesn't do this. He doesn't do that. He doesn't shoot threes. His tray jump shot looks a bit dodgy. And actually, everyone's talking about, KD, he was so unlucky because he didn't have his Batman and Butler with him or whatever. I just think fundamentally he didn't deliver, and Giannis did. And irrespective of how Chris Middleton did and Drew Holiday did, he won. So I don't understand why people are not giving him enough praise.
Okay, Ollie, put it this way. Put it this way. And Kato, I'm sure you agree with me on this. Put it this way. Paul George, without his wingman, yeah, he got you what, 3 games against Utah, the best record in the NBA. He got you 3 games, yeah. Luka, he got you 3 games against the Clippers. Donovan Mitchell got you 2 games against the Clippers. Goes on and on. This, that, and the other. KD couldn't get 2 games. He needed 2 games. He couldn't do it. I'm not saying he's a bad player. I'm just saying this. His achievement has been overhyped, and as a result of that, unfortunately, the Bucks and Giannis have been played down. The question I actually had for you guys is, who do you think the best player in the world is? Just to sort of finish up, K-Dot is backing Giannis. I think Giannis has a case, a very strong case. If I was a lawyer, I'd be like, I'll take that case. No win, no fee type thing. Ollie said KD. I think Ollie's he's happy with what he's seen with his eyes, because he was amazing. Like, that aside, I'm being a bit harsh, but he was amazing. He just was so good. And just to watch it, the way he's getting shots, he's just from anywhere on the court, it's just a joke. Is anyone in his face off balance? Yeah. So I mean, I don't want people to think I don't rate him, but whatever. Tobes, you didn't answer the question. Best player in the world at the moment.
It's the recency bias of it all, isn't it? So, like, they ain't forgotten about LeBron, but it's just feel like because you're in the midst of playoffs, you forget about everything. I'll still say him, but honestly, he's not got much left. I think he's got one. He's got this coming season, and someone's snatching it from him. Pretty much. I don't think he's got much left. Because I don't think he's got the father time ain't on his side. He ain't got. I don't think he's even got the motor. Not to. It's weird to say, not to be the best in the world, but he's not really. That's not his MO anymore. It's just like rings.
I honestly think, bro, that 2018's playoffs run just took it out of him. He's never played the same since in these 3 years in Laker Nation. But no, respect to LeBron. This could be a tad controversial, but honestly, from what I've seen, I think the best player in the world at the moment is Luka Doncic. Honestly,
I knew you were going to say it.
I've honestly thought about. I'm like,
I knew he was going to say.
He's so complete. His ability to affect the game, I think it could be better than anyone at this moment in time. And the way he got 3 games off the Clippers like that. Now, if you're talking about trash teammates, I don't know who's got less help as a superstar than Luka Doncic. And to get another 3 off the Clippers, averaging 40, 52% shooting, and finding a way to win, the ability to win. He got 3 games against the Clippers. As I said, for all the hype about KD, he couldn't get 2 games. No one asked him to do a whole series. He could not get 2 games. So that's my thoughts. I feel I've offended Ollie particularly.
No, I do understand. I think the way you sort of put it with because I think that Mavericks team is awful, and put it into perspective of how Luka is. I think he'll be one of the favourites for MVP next season, but I don't know. It's hard to put him above the old heads.
It is hard. It is hard. It's just my feeling at the time, and no one's really. It's like the WWE. Sometimes you got that undisputed champion, and you're like, nah, he's that guy, and he's gonna have it for a few months. But sometimes, when it's bopping around, and then someone quickly loses it on Raw, and then when there's no no pay-per-view coming up for a little bit, sort of post WrestleMania, this, that, and the other, and there's Money in the Bank matches, all this, that, and the other. I feel like the title's kind of bouncing around, and I think it's Giannis's. If it's a main event final, I'd put Giannis versus Luka personally. But that's what it is. To finish, the Bucks, I think, are a good matchup for the Hawks. If they hit their perimeter shots and keep them honest, I think it will be a relatively straightforward series. In terms of the finals, I think the Clippers, they can give Clippers a good run without Kawhi. I think Phoenix could be a bad matchup for them. That's my feeling on it. The way Ayton's playing and just how balanced they are. But I'll move on. Ollie, you had a lot to say that section, so I'm going to throw it over to you. As I said, guys, I've asked each of the boys to bring a little bit of analysis and a hot take to discuss centered around these playoffs. I've done my piece. Ollie, what you reckon? What you got? You've got to be talking about your flippers.
Yeah, talking about the LA Clippers. Everyone, I know you guys know, and all the listeners know that they are my team. So pretty much just going to be sort of going over Clippers Jazz and going into the Clippers Suns as well. What against Jazz down into one in 6 games after being initially 2 down, which seems to be a bit of a recurring theme at the moment.
The flippers, man. The flippers.
Yeah, but I think it takes. I think we actually prefer to actually go down before Ty Lue actually decides he realizes what players that he does actually need to play, and what kind of setup he wants to go with. Right. But yeah, one thing I wanted to go with, he's someone who's really sort of showed his true colours during not just this series, but this whole playoffs. And I think he's someone who is owed an apology from everyone. Not just Terrence Mann, who's owed from everyone on this call, including myself, because there have been some scandalous things that have been said about him. And that's Paul George, aka Playoff P. He's just been outstanding for us.
You know what was outstanding? Those free throws.
Those 2 free throws. Yeah, apart from that. Yeah, I don't, because I think he said if we want to talk about the Suns and how they're lined up when against Utah, which we absolutely took the mick out of 3 times Defensive Player of the Year, Rudy Gobert, who I'm a massive fan of. But we just made him look like a nobody with a small ball line of Batum playing the 5, which I think if you said that a year ago, you probably would have laughed at us. And I think Batum's probably been one of the best free agency pickups in the off season last year as well. Well, at the beginning of this season. So, but yeah, I think it's not been going as great this series purely on the basis that we can't play that lineup. We've been playing big minutes to sort of Zubac, Cousins, which if you looked at the previous series when we're playing big minutes to Zubac, Cousins, Pat Beverly, it generally doesn't really tend to go that well. And then when Ty Lue figures out that he needs to play Terrence Mann and Luke Kennard, who we paid, was it $65 million for, then things actually do start to go well. But yeah, I think it'll be an interesting matchup. And also one question I'll put to you that I've just think of. Both Chris Paul and Kawhi have been out the first two games. Who's more important to their team?
That is an unbelievable question. Before I answer it, though, I do want to take your lead on that, Ollie. Paul George. We only do this about 15 times a show, but it's your turn.
put some respect on my
There
name.
you are.
You understand me? When y'all saying my name, put some respect on
If we
it.
use that anymore, we're gonna have to start licensing it, you know. But genuinely, on this case, he's been brilliant. He's been brilliant. My answer, therefore, would be the loss of Kawhi Leonard for two reasons. Firstly, three reasons really. Firstly, might be arguable, but he's a better player. He's a superstar. He's a two-time Finals MVP, and he doesn't show much emotion, but he's just so good. He's so efficient. Unbelievable player, unbelievable talent, and you saw him dig you out of that hole in Dallas. And he's more stable. PG can have those ups and downs. Kawhi's mentally more stable. But secondly, I totally forgot what I was going to say. But secondly, I think Chris Paul's coming back, whereas Kawhi seems to be not coming back.
Yeah, I was gonna ask because there's a lot of different sort of stories coming out on Kawhi and the sort of return on what's except apparently it's a twisted knee, and it may be more than that, and potentially he's out for the rest of the series. But it doesn't at the moment. It doesn't really seem like he is going to be back for the rest of the series, and if we do get through, potentially not for the finals either.
So that's what it seems like. So that's why I think his absence, his situation's more impactful because it will last longer, and he's a better player. Kato, what do you think? That's a great question, Ollie.
It's going to be a Harlem Heat sweep. I think, Kawhi is a more integral part of that team. I just think that when you have a superstar of his magnitude and he's out, I think it's going to impact your team the most. Not just offensively, but defensively as well. He picks up the other team's best player willingly, and he's a very good defender. I don't think Devin Booker would be dropping 40 easily if Kawhi was on him. I think that's the biggest loss I think it has, and the defensive identity. But I don't want to Sorry?
Just saying, Pat Bev seems to have a new lease of life now as the dog.
Yeah. I mean, we discovered his defensive form. But I don't think he's a better defender than Kawhi. But I don't want to discount CP3's leadership. I think those intangible things they're second to none. People forget that this Phoenix Suns team is very young, and to have like an old head who is a willing leader, who's vocal, who does things by example, who knows how to run an offense. Those sort of things you can't buy that. So I think Kawhi just edges it for me.
Tobes, you saw firsthand what Chris Paul could do at OKC. What do you reckon of that? Chris Paul or Kawhi, bigger miss for the teams?
I mean, we've had the the advantage of seeing two games already in this series. Suns are up 2. It's been great on one side, seeing the evolution of D-Book. Grabbed that series by the horns in the first with a phenomenal performance. So I mean, 2-0 down, you gotta say it's Kawhi. Simple math, innit?
Yeah. That's very.
He does so much for that team. I don't want to. I don't know. We'll probably maybe we'll drop predictions later and stuff. But this series is not by no means over at all.
Oh no! This
is how they won yesterday on a game-winning lob. They won the first one by the skin of their teeth. Now that shows you the supporting cast have been lit. Reggie Jackson's balling out of his damn mind. You've got Morris when he's out there playing his heart out. Terrence Mann, even Boogie Cousins has got pulled on Undertaker, come out the grave again. Tyler's got them all playing pretty hard, but you have to admit if Kawhi was there, they'd be another level, another test for this Suns team. But I do want to link back to what Kato just said and give some props to CP3. It's incredible what he's doing for that squad, and you tell how much it means to them because you catch them FaceTiming him after every game. You know what I mean? It's like
in the games.
You know what I mean? Like, yeah, they should just whack him on the big screen. Get the crowd get the crowd pumped. But it's amazing how that much of an influence he's having on these young guys. And this advantage of it is it's not just one time. It's gonna be long term. You know, they're gonna remember this experience and take it forward. And it's gonna be amazing for them. It's like it's a bit of fear and love, you know. It's like when you used to go out and you were young, and your parents are like, "Make sure you call me when you get home." So they win a game, and they're like, "I got to call CP3 just so he knows like he actually saw me out there." Like it was like, "I'm the assist. You see the assist he got." You know what I mean? So
yeah, I feel that. No, well, it seems like Kawhi wins that, Ollie. Ollie, I've got a question for you actually.
I think you're frozen again, mate.
I just saw that. You lot got me now, yeah? Yeah. Who do you think, honestly, is the MVP of this Clippers team so far? Paul George or Ty Lue?
Paul George.
Ooh.
Paul George.
I've got to disagree with you on that one. Interesting.
I don't. Ty Lue is. There's been too many obvious decisions where he should have been playing Terrence Mann when he shouldn't have been playing Cousins, Pat Beverly. There's times when he should have been playing Kennard more, but
Yo, I think Ollie
reckon his laptop's dead.
Ollie's frozen. Artis official. We see you, Artis official. I do think the Suns can go all the way. I really, you know what? If you've been following all year, I've been saying the Suns are fakers. I've been saying they're pretenders. You remember that, Tobes? When I kept saying, who's cheekily better than what's it called? I kept saying, who's cheekily better than the Suns? The Suns, they don't really have a superstar, rah, all this and that. I really believe it now. I really, truly, truly believe they can go all the way. They're so unique as a team in that what am I trying to say? It's the first time I've seen in basketball, really, and I suppose it's because there's been so many dynasties back to back to back. It's the first time I've seen in a while. It's like, no. The team, the ethos, the style of play can genuinely carry you through in the playoffs. You know what I mean? Like, Devin Booker's been a superstar. Yeah, he's on that cusp, but he hasn't dropped like 40 every single game. There's times where he dropped 16, 20. The way Cameron Payne's coming up, and playing that point guard position, efficient. I think he's 25 assists and 1 turnover as a starter. Ridiculous. K-Dot probably appreciates this the most because you were team basketball. That's what you grew up on as a Spurs fan. And I've been so happy and so impressed. I've learned a lot watching the Suns. I'm like, it's about how you play and how you play as a team, who stars, who steps back, everyone playing their role. So yeah, Artis, I'm with you. I really think the Suns can go all the way, and I'll be happy to see them go all the way.
Yeah, I would too, especially as to what's happened to Monty Williams and his family, the tragedy that happened. If you don't know, Google it, but it's what a story it is for a man to sort of go through that, come out the other side and take this hungry, losing franchise who haven't had any form of success since the Steve Nash days. I also think that the mere fact that he's drawing up plays when he needs to, DeAndre Ayton just seems like he's really blossoming in his role these playoffs. And as you mentioned about Cameron Payne, who no one really knew about before these playoffs. I mean, I think he was more known for his handshakes, his actual basketball, and the fact that he's stepped into this role where he's played it extremely efficiently, and he hasn't given the ball to the opposing team. Just, I think it all comes down from Monty, if I'm honest.
No, he's
The fact that he knows, I think he's just been unbelievable. There's such a great camaraderie and team spirit amongst the group, and I'm rooting for them as well. I think I'm rooting for them. So
okay, Tobes, I want you to step onto your segment. But before you do that, just quick question for you, genuinely, because I remember I asked you, K-Dot wasn't on the call, but I asked you just when the playoffs started, because your team wasn't in the playoffs, who do you actually want to win? Yeah. I remember you said Giannis and the Bucks. Who do you want to win? Who would you like to win a title more? In just your heart of heart, then basketball neutral that you are, who would you like to see win a title more? Giannis or CP3? CMVP3. It's tough, isn't it?
There's something
K-Dot's ready to step in.
There's something in. I mean, I played a lot of sport growing up, and like the background's always been like a bit like pay respect, not respect your elders, but you kind of want to see someone who's written the chapter and legacy before you succeed. So CP3 has literally done everything he can. When he's just missing that one chip. It's very resemblant to Dirk before he did it with the Mavericks, you know.
Dirkish.
And if he got that, it mean a lot for the league. And I'm a Giannis guy. I mean, I have one guy's jersey and I don't have the other guy's, so it would be better if the guy's jersey I had did win it. But that aside, Giannis will have more opportunities. Well, you never know, but touch wood. And although I want the Bucks overall to win, I'd be equally as happy and content if CP3 did it. And to be honest, his window is shut.
His window's shut.
He rolled the dice. A lot of us were wincing. Like, what's he doing? Going, why is he jumping around these young teams? He's got OKC to Suns, and it's worked out. It's worked out amazingly well, and it's the perfect fit. He's really come in and enjoyed. And whilst we're shouting out people, we shout out Monty Williams. We got to shout out exec of the year, James Jones. He's made a seamless transition from a player to running a very well established organization and doing it nice. You know, just quietly over in his corner. Always fear the ones that are quiet. He's assembled a great talent of young people, and they're killing it. So it's tough for me, but right now I'll give. I hate to say it because I do like Giannis. I do like what he's overcome, but for the complete picture, yeah, CP3.
Safe. Yeah, I see that. Listen, those who are watching live, feel free in the chat. Tell us questions we put forward already. Is who would you rather see win a title, CP3 or Giannis? Who do you think is the best player in the world at the moment right now? Plenty going on. Kato, I think you wanted to say something. You clicked off mute, so I think you wanted to say something. I'm going to give you a chance. CP3 or Giannis for the title?
No, I completely agree with Toby that I guess
such a pure.
Giannis. I think Giannis has more time to go and get a chip. I think CP3's done his dues, man. He was in that rubbish Hornets team, just swirling mediocrity. Went to the Clippers. They couldn't get it done. Like, literally anything he done. Went to Houston, got injured.
Yeah.
And if he didn't get injured, they probably would have won it. They probably would have won it. So I just think
now's his time.
He deserves it. At least, come on, man. Let the basketball gods give him one at least before he retires. He deserves at least one. So, no, in my opinion, I'd love to see CP3 win it, but also I'd like to see Monty Williams win one as well. Again, just for the adversity he's come through and all that good stuff. I really bought into his story, and I don't think many people could go through a tragedy like that and then come back and coach again, really. So it's tough.
I'm with you. I'm genuinely gonna have to think about the answer to that question. You guys have pulled some heartstrings. I genuinely have to think about that. In the meantime, Tobes, as I said, people are listening. I've asked each of the boys to bring some analysis on a hot take to discuss. Ollie's talked about the LA Flippers. I've already spoken about Giannis and the Bucks. Tobes, it's on you. Numero 3. Go.
Yeah, I did want to give some love to the Suns, but I think we've covered a lot there. There's you know me, I like my old school music. I blame my dad. It's this one song by the group Shalimar,
Yes.
where it's I can make you feel good. That's how I feel about the Suns, man. They make me feel good. They make me feel real good all the time because, like you say, they're just this plucky young team come out of nowhere and they're killing it. And to be on the brink of NBA Finals is actually mad. Like if you could, I had my little other persona, like the betting man. Like at the start of the season, if I went and looked at the odds for the Suns to win the title, anyone who put money on, you are living. You're looking good right now.
No, I know, man.
Vegas is on them, so better
Facts.
buddy up with them. But actually, I wanted to show some love and touch on a team that mirrors them in going under the radar, but are in the East, which is the Atlanta Hawks.
Yeah.
ATL stand up, Quavo. Drop ad libs, Migos ad libs. But on a real, I mean, we're getting there, but they've potentially forced an entire franchise to rethink their process and start from scratch. So that alone shows some seismic waves in the NBA and what they've done in the playoffs themselves.
I can't believe it.
Yeah.
I cannot believe it.
I'm sure we're gonna come on to that situation shortly, but yeah. For those of you that don't know, they took this series in 4 games to 3.
Went on the road.
On the road, similar to the Bucks, they stole it in Philly, which was incredible considering they were up 17 at 1.2, and they just completely imploded. But what I want to actually focus on is it shows something I didn't know this roster had, which is a great deal of mental fortitude, right? They won game 1 by 4 points in the thriller, game 4 by 3 points in the thriller, game 5 by 3 points in the thriller. If you look at the statistics, Philadelphia won in points, rebounds, assists, steals, blocks, field goals, and 3-point percentage. Essentially, Philadelphia dominated every single NBA statistical category they could, except free throws, where Atlanta beat them 78% to 67%. And I just quoted 3 games where they lost by 3 points or more.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Practice free throws. The playoffs, and we're going to get to our man, the ultimate enemy of the world right now soon. But these are the margins you're dealing with the playoffs. And that aside, Atlanta did amazingly well to hang mentally in there, finish games, and work well as a team, and also lean on their superstar. So mental fortitude was amazing. And the fact that you can literally lose in every statistical category, but win on free throws baffled me. I was like, I had to reread that constantly. How could Philly dominate and still lose a series? Right. It's soul crushing if you're a Philly fan, and it's very impressive if you're an Atlanta fan. So that was the first takeaway.
And analytics guys are taking L's all playoffs. The analytics guys, they're looking at the Jazz, they're looking at Rudy Gobert, they're looking over in Philly, they're looking all around, they just don't know what's happening.
Especially someone like Morley, Darryl Morley, almost the godfather of analytics. Him and Hinkie started all this 3 is better than 2 movement, Yeah, so he's got to think back to the go back to the drawing board. The second part I have to touch on with the ATL is a little villain known as Trae Young. Ice Trae has been phenomenal this playoffs. As the New York fan said, he may be balding, but that guy is balling. I'm telling you, he's been killing it. You can tease the brother all he wants. He's ready. It's not just that he's killing you. He's an old school player. He's a throwback.
I think he should be skinhead now, though. I think he should go full villain, skinhead.
Embrace it, bro. Embrace it. Embrace the look. Just shave the beard, but keep a little mustache. Proper pantomime villain. The guy's got everything in the bag. He's doing push-ups. He's shushing the crowd. He's doing bows.
In a little waves. That was deep.
And the thing is, he's got the game to back it up. That's what's beautiful about it. Like, you got trash talkers. Like, my least favorite player, Pat Beverly, breaking Booker's nose the other day, and he's chat like a little chihuahua. Shut up, man! You can barely make any threes. Shut up. No one cares for you. So his reputation's finished out here. Trey is playing well and backing up with chat, so it's coming across real nice to me. He averaged 29 points and 10.9 assists against the Sixers. If that's not some all-star point guard numbers, I don't know what it is. He's often overshadowed with the whole Luka, and I think those two are forever going to be like, you know, paired in their NBA journey and in their myth. But
Trey's still there.
We've got to give Trey dues, man. Because he is leading this team to the finals, which is fantastic.
You know what I like as well, Tobes?
Yeah.
You know, he's small. He can get tired. He can get guarded in certain ways. But firstly, he's very effective. If his shot's not going down, the two things I like about him is, number one, mental strength. He keeps shooting. Shooters shoot. Yeah. Number two, he can find his way to the free throw line. He always will find himself, even in the playoffs, double-digit free throws. Just keep the points ticking over. You know, he can do that as well. That's what I like about it. And thirdly, when stuff is really hitting the fan, he can get others involved. You know what I mean? There was one series where I think he got 20. He averaged I think he scored 39 points and 5 assists or something like that. And the next game, it was like 23 points, 18 assists or something like that. You know what I mean? He can titrate that up, down. People need to understand how incredible a skill that is. That is special. Truly, truly special.
Yeah, he's an elite player. And honestly, I don't know if you're going to keep doing your point guard rankings, but I don't think Trey ever cracked or penetrated that top 5. But the way it's going now and the credit he's earning from this playoff, he's going to be in people's mind next season. So
it's point guard-ish.
He's getting there. He's getting there.
No, it's true. Yeah.
You're not going to talk about Red Velvet. How dare you?
Oh, Velvet.
I'm coming on to that. I'm coming on to the role players, man. Okay. The role players. All right, yeah, we can start with him, man. Like the guys. I mean, I'm assuming you're meaning the KH, right? The Kevin.
Yeah.
Kevin what?
That's his nickname, isn't it? I think
Red Velvet. No, man. He's probably got bear out there. Call him accountant too. How many NBA players do I think like one? Yeah. He looks like some guy who's not. You just lanky white guy. I'm not gonna lie. Like just throw him out there, see what he can do, and he's sick.
He's breaking the all NBA white team, and that is a tough team. That's a tough team to get into now. Someone's telling me that's not facts.
Yeah. The thing is, he's one of these guys. I'm a bit of a draft nose, you know, when it comes to draft seasons. And he was a guy that caught my eye when he went in the draft to Atlanta, because you look at the mechanics, you see the guy in the field, you're just thinking this is going to be a nice long-term NBA career. He's going to be a nice 15 years. The kind of guy you want to go into a playoff. You know what I mean? Go to a playoff. Like a Korver, but with a bit more bunnies, you know? He's got a little more athleticism about him. So
he's tall as well.
He's tall. He's tall for a guard. 6'7", legit 6'7". So he averaged 13, 4, and 2. And obviously 27 in game 7, 10 from 18, just finished. And he epitomizes
that team,
Atlanta's X factor.
Yeah.
They are a Swiss Army knife. We got gas in the preseason because we were like, "Wow, they've made big boy moves." Didn't work well for the first 3 quarters of the season. They picked up towards the end, and now we are seeing it in the cauldron of the playoffs. They have got weapons. John Collins was big.
Yeah,
people were like, "Eat." Right, guys. If you're ATL, are you wrapping him up or are you letting him go?
Yeah, you have to wrap him up. You have to,
right?
I hope he stays. I hope he stays because I think he
will now. I think he will.
Yeah. I think he's seen that in the playoffs. I think Trey has been so exceptional that he just probably thinks, actually, you know what, our little beef. Our little beef at the start of the season, maybe it's a bit overblown,
childish.
And I think that actually he should take the most shots. He's put up the numbers to justify him having the ball, dribbling the air out of the ball, really, because he's our best player. So I think, I think he'll stay. I think good things are happening down there. So why would you leave and go where?
Exactly. Tobes. I got a question for you on your take, actually. Sort of building off, because I know you're going to talk about the Suns as well. I think the final four teams in this obviously in this playoff series, the situation's complicated almost by the fact I think the coaches are so elite. Who do you think is the best coach remaining in the playoffs at the moment? Who do you trust the most?
Oof. You mean isolated from their team, just pure coaching, or you mean
like
with the pairing?
Okay, because remember, we say this all the time, and for people that maybe follow the basketball, don't necessarily watch the games because of time differences and whatever, you guys all know, especially at the elite level, the difference is each team has a start. Each team's going to get their points by and large. It comes down to possessions: 1 possession, 2 possessions, 3 possessions, drawing up a play here, drawing up a defensive play here or there. We've seen it so many times in the playoffs already. Yeah. Who do you think, the teams are all similarly matched yet? Who do you think as a coach can pull it out of the bag? Essentially, Monty Williams and Nate McMillan are kind of like mirror images of each other in East and West, the Eastern Conference and the Western Conference. Ty Lue, as you know, he's legit. And he's got that mental strength as well. He's done what he's done.
His Game 7 records unprecedented.
Coach Bud is just waiting for a title.
Coach Bud is the worst one.
Yeah.
Hands down.
Yeah.
Harsh, man.
Out of everyone there, he's the worst one.
How can you
okay.
That? Let's he's got
wait,
to.
Who's left? Who's he better than?
He's got to conference. He's done the same thing as Nate McMillan. He's got to conference finals with the Hawks. He won his Hawks. His record.
But Nate McMillan actually coached. You could see him doing switches. He chose people to. He was plucking. He blocked on your Woku from the bench. The 11th man gave meaningful minutes. His rotations. He knew when to trust Lou, when to give it to Trey. Booth was just like Giannis, save us. Middleton, shoot.
You guys take it. I think you guys, unfortunately, take him for granted a little bit. I think he's underperformed, and I think you guys are actually right. Yeah, but he has transformed Milwaukee into an Eastern Conference juggernaut, at least in the regular season. He has done that. He's done that. Come on now, let's be fair. 60
I don't care about regular season.
60 wins. Conference
every conversation in this from now till titles won is in playoff only mode.
Yeah. Okay. So tell me this, right? So if it so happens that ATL goes home, okay, ATL goes home or Phoenix goes home, okay, the next season sort of normality-ish is restored. Philly, top team, Boston, whatever, and Nate McMillan spends the next 4 or 5 years, first round exit, whatever, this, that, and the other. That could easily happen to him. That doesn't make him a worse coach. It just is what it is. I think ultimately Nate McMillan, Monty Williams have not done anything that Coach Bud hasn't done. That's just a fact. Where were Milwaukee when Coach Bud came? I'm sure they were probably similar position, in and out of the playoffs, lottery team.
But they were, to be fair. After this kid left,
the same thing. So I'm saying if we take exactly the same teams 5 years down the line, and someone said to you, Nate McMillan has not won a title, but he's been to 1 conference final and a few first round, maybe second rounds.
But I personally think that
would you still be saying it's a miraculous job, or would you be saying no, he's a good, solid coach?
I think that Nate McMillan has done more with less.
He's done it in one. It's just one season.
No, but he doesn't.
And you have to define less. There was nobody when Giannis came into the league. His stock was not as high as Trae Young's stock.
No, but they had a good team. They had a good team before. Giannis went to a good team. Giannis went to a good team.
Who was playing in that Milwaukee team when Giannis got drafted?
Didn't they have like OJ Mayo? Didn't they have?
Sorry.
No, but Adrian May is really good.
Is-
Adrian May is good.
Tell
Adrian
me a
May
little
is
bit about- Go on,
Hey,
go on.
either way, you can't compare him to Monty, right? Because it was the East v the West.
Okay,
Yeah.
so Monty's got a basketball. Monty's got a superstar and a Hall of Famer. Straight off.
Ah,
Oh my god!
bruh,
This isn't an argument.
bruh. Phoenix Suns are in the Western Conference Final. If we go back 8 months and I said that to you, you would slap me.
Because Phoenix were underachieving. I can't abide this. I can't. K-Dot, you have said you have said that Monty Williams and Nate McMillan have done more with less.
No, Nate McMillan.
that.
Nate McMillan has done more with less.
Okay, so you're saying Monty Williams hasn't, because Monty Williams has had Devin Booker. I don't know what draft pick he was, but he's a star at least. Tobes, this is fact. He's had a first round pick. He's a first overall pick, DeAndre Ayton, and he's had Chris Paul.
No, man.
Tobes, it's not.
No,
it's not.
we're getting caught in the source of it.
Okay,
you said Devin Booker. You weren't even sure he was going to show up in the playoffs, right? You weren't convinced. You weren't convinced. That's one.
Devin Booker was better than Giannis when Giannis came into the league. People are acting if Giannis was developed.
But you're messing
the last three.
You're messing the timelines.
I'm just whipping your you know what.
You're messing the timelines, man.
Okay, go on.
It's the squad and depth of the Bucks, right? At the kind of relative stage of when they were going, was still more known and quantifiable than what this is the Suns' rookie playoffs for like their whole squad, and they're in the Western Conference Final. Deep that Jay Crowder, DeAndre Ayton, who no one was sure of, Cam Payne, who was playing in China with God knows Beijing Ducks or whatever, and they're out here killing it. It is, and Monty Williams is steering that. Yes, you have the added bonus of Chris Paul. Don't get it twisted. But even then, the guy's he was limping throughout the first season. He had one job. Don't get Corona. He's got Corona now. They're doing all right still. I just feel like Monty Williams is for a better term, just better than Bud at being a coach. At least, and it's hard to say because I don't know what Bud will be like with a young team. But I think Monty Williams personally is just a better coach.
But don't you think as well that Bud, when he was with Atlanta Hawks, underachieved with that team? Don't you think so?
No one else can do. No one could do anything against LeBron. That was
no, I know, but I do think that from a regular season, Atlanta Hawks, when they were breaking records or whatever, going on stretches of winning games, and transitioning into the playoffs, I'm not sure whether he had that team ready to play in the playoffs. I know it's probably unfair that I'm quite harping on about when Bud was in Atlanta and had the Kyle Korvers of the world and the Paul Millsaps, etc. But and I do feel that Monty was fired prematurely at the Pelicans. I think he was doing such a good job, and for no fault of his own, they just thought we want to accelerate the rebuild now, and he got
Monty. Was Monty at the Pelicans? That was Alvin Gentry.
Yeah,
was Monty before? Monty was before, was he?
He was before, yeah.
He had AD.
Yeah.
Don't chat to you about more with less. Don't chat now. Officially, don't chat. How many superstars? You know what? Okay, I'm gonna start. You know me, I get a bit cantankerous for no reason. I agree with you guys. As of what you say this season, because sometimes what you got to see is the coaching. So Tobes, I agree with you. Like you've seen it in those moments, in those plays. Sometimes it, as you say, forget years and the regular season record, all that stuff. Yeah, plays, moments. You've seen Monty. You have to respond and respond. You've seen him draw up plays, the right plays at the right time. Things that, you saw on the other side, inexperienced coaches like Steve Nash didn't do. The same with Ty Lue and what's his name? The name's now lost me. Monty, who are we talking about again? McMillan.
Williams.
McMillan. So they've all done that. I agree. So who is the best? Who is the best? We got completely sidetracked, which is fine. Who's the best? Tobes and then
I'll go Monty just because I see it on the court. Plus, I feel like he's the perfect motivator for that squad. You know, he's kind of that cool young uncle. They vibe with him. Plus, yeah, I saw it at OKC when he was an assistant coach. He's a great personable whisperer. You know, for the players as well as being a great playmaker and draw up. So I'll go Monty, but fair play, Nate.
K-Dot?
I mean, people will accuse ourselves of recency bias, but I do have to say Monty, just based on the fact that he's galvanized that group. They're young, they're ready, and if you have CP3's respect, then I think that screams. That's a great endorsement to have. A Hall of Famer. I'm really impressed with this Phoenix Suns team.
I'm going to go for, in this playoffs at this moment this year, I think the best coach is Nate McMillan. Because Monty had his time. He had his time without CP3, did not make the playoffs. I think the CP3 effect has been massive. I think there is absolutely no equivalent or anything close to that equivalent in ATL. And obviously Nate McMillan took over halfway through the season as well. So to have them playing with that fortitude, that almost looked like vets at times, the way Herter stepped up. No fear, no nothing. I think McMillan at this moment in time. But we'll see. We'll see him versus Bud. I know you guys seem to just think Bud's just any man's. I think Bud's got experience. Bud's got a little bit up his sleeve, and hopefully Brooklyn, that win over Brooklyn mentally got them over the hump. Because I did not think they could win a game 7. I remember saying to you guys on WhatsApp, they will never ever win a game 7 under Bud, and I was wrong again. The amount of things I'm wrong about this year is getting laughable. K-Dot, it's your turn. Toby, thank you very much for that. K-Dot, you're the last one. I think I know what you're going to talk about.
Yeah, unfortunately.
But let us know. Let us know.
So just following on from Toby's love of old school music, if I had to pick a song for this team, is Khaleesi's "I Hate You So Much Right Now." Now, I think I'm sorry, just so everyone knows, I'm talking about the Philadelphia 76ers.
Yes, you are.
So, last year they got rid of a somewhat divisive figure in their head coach. Who couldn't galvanize that team, who I didn't think was drawing up plays, who I just think sort of said he just ran whoever offense, and he was just more of a cheerleader. Didn't really have the X's and O's down to a T. Didn't really have a great game plan, and they made the right decision. And I guess Doc Rivers fell in their lap. They thought, picked up a coach with fantastic pedigree, NBA champion, and they've done really well in the regular season. They won 4 games, or they beat the Washington Wizards, who quite handedly, and then they come up against Atlanta Hawks, who are chippy. Everyone thought they were going to be chippy, maybe Atlanta might get 2 games off them, but I don't think anyone had Atlanta winning that series. Game 1, Mr. Trae Young comes to play. Now, he was hitting threes from the logo.
He's hitting threes from the UK.
And no one thought to... Doc Rivers had Danny Green on him for the best part of...
listen, if you hadn't watched these games, Trae Young's threes were coming from so far away, they genuinely needed vaccine passports. I said, listen, they were getting through customs. They were, oh my God, he was raining.
So it took him the best part of, I think Trae Young had about 30 in the first half. And then Doc was like, oh, actually, I need to guard this guy. Let me put my best defender on him. And then he was quiet. Now, I guess looking back, hindsight being 50-50, 2020, sorry, 50-50, 2020, that game one was pivotal. You were at home, you were the strongest seed. So you think that these home games meant, you should be making sure that you're at least competitive in your home games. And they just, to me, it's laughable that throughout the series that they went from 17 points up. I think another game they were 15 points up, and they blew leads.
One of them were 26, one of them was 17.
Yeah,
back games, blew leads.
Yes, and I just feel like, did this Philadelphia 76ers team take a step forwards with Doc? Because the argument was with Brett Brown.
Yeah. So
was that he wasn't an X's and O's guy and didn't take ownership, and there was no accountability on his part.
No, he kept wetting the bed, basically.
Yeah, basically. Now, the same level of criticism hasn't been leveled at Doc Rivers for whatever reason. I thought that typically in the playoffs, you pick who you trust. And I think that his rotation was too big. I think you have to play your best players at the best times. That's just my opinion.
Right,
I think that to let a 26-point lead go in a 17, that's a fireable offense, in my opinion.
It really is. Mr. H, I don't think it's fireable for you, mate.
It is a fireable offense, and I never advocate for anyone losing their job. But to me, I just think that no one had Atlanta winning this series. Nobody.
Okay. You have raised a good point.
It would literally be like Burnley beating Manchester United 4 times
at Old Trafford.
At Old Trafford.
Yeah. Okay. All right. You know what? Okay. So you raise a good point. Firstly, you're right in several respects. Nobody truly had Atlanta winning the series. Correct. Philly wet the bed multiple times and blew 2 massive leads. Correct. They lost a game 7 on their home floor, and that is unacceptable. And somebody's got to go. Correct. So the question then is, who has got to go? To answer you directly, though, K-Dot, I don't think. Oh, you know what? I'm gonna moonwalk back. Or I'm just gonna say I think they have taken step forwards under Doc Rivers. I liked a lot what they did in the regular season. I liked just everything just seemed a little bit more controlled, a little bit cleaner. I remember during the season, during our pods, I was saying I like the fact I'm hearing nothing at all from the Philadelphia 76ers. All I'm seeing is W's. Even when Embiid went down, he showed an ability to get the job done, to get victories. He got the number 1 seed. He wrapped that up. So I do like, I think he does have the house in order, and he seemed to figure out a way to get Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid to play effectively together, sort of working towards Ben's strength and introducing Seth and Tobias Harris as more significant members of the offense. And I like that a lot. So things just did seem a bit neater. With all that having been said, coaching is about moments, and he has not shown anything different than Brett Brown in those moments. Game management, calling teams off when they're going on a run, making changes. I respect the fact he went a bit deeper in the into his roster, K-Dot, because I actually thought, there are other coaches that are don't have enough faith in their role players, and I think they suffer sometimes. Like Nash, he went on for a really, really short rotation, and I think there were other players that might have produced for him if he had faith in them. Tyronn Lue, he's quite good at bringing people out of the rotation. Frank Vogel did it a lot last year. So I think that's obviously up for debate. But direct answer your question, I think overall, yes. But Doc, sadly, has not shown in a long time, really, if you take his Clippers reign, ability to be that guy, that coach in those moments, which is what playoff basketball is about. Playoff basketball is literally about 4 or 5 plays. That's that.
I also think going on to the sort of meat and bones of what we're going to talk about is the situation with Ben Simmons. Now, we all knew when he came into the league that he couldn't shoot. Like he just, whether he refuses to shoot or his preference is to go to the hole, to beat his man off the dribble. Yeah, I guess that his MO has been the same. We all know he's a star, great defender. He finds passing lanes really effectively. I guess obviously the lights are brightest in game 7s, and his free throw shooting percentage was absolutely woeful. For someone who can't shoot or who doesn't want to shoot jump shots, you have to make your free throws at least at an 80% clip at least. And for you not to dunk over Trae Young and not be aggressive in those kind of moments, because if you missed a shot and Gallinari blocked you from behind, then so be it. At least you've gone down swinging. But I guess my question to you guys is the process over? And if you're going to trade Ben Simmons, who are you going to trade him to and for what?
Thank you very much. I think that's well set up. Ben Simmons, sadly, was atrocious. There's no other way to put it. He was atrocious. It's the can't shoot, that's one thing. It's the won't shoot, that's scary. The won't shoot, that's scary. Mentally gone, weak. I don't think there's any basketball pundit that would say anything differently. The coach didn't say anything differently. His teammates didn't say anything differently. Mentally weak, but he has talent. He is a great player. Let's not get that twisted. Tobes, answer the man's question. Is the process over? Where should Ben Simmons go?
Ladies and gentlemen, the process is over. Straight up over. Straight up over. If you were, even if you were in other cities, other franchises, there may be some saving grace. Not in Philadelphia, not in that place. If you're new to American sport culture, Phillies are one of the cornerstones of that country. They are fanatics. The way we live and breathe sport, like how Liverpool are like a football obsessed city. Fam, in Philly, any sport, they just that Ben Simmons is dead to them. They were burning his jersey not long after that game
because the
won't shoot, it's the attitude, it's the apparently there's also now that the can's open, all sorts is coming out from leaks. Like he's mollycoddled in training. He's not like a big motor. He doesn't train hard. Embiid just throwing shade after the game. Doc Rivers didn't defend him post, which was all this aside. I think that was still a bit tactless, man. At the end of the day, you're his manager, you're his gaffer. Even if he's shit and he's shit, you should just save face and be like, yeah, he was bad, but I'm here for him or something. He was just literally like, can Ben Simmons be the point guard or the starting contender? He was like, I can't answer that.
He literally pleaded the fifth.
I don't know. I mean, if you're Ben Simmons, that's it, right? You know your agent's Rich Paul's like, shit, son, we gotta get you out of here. Sorry.
So where's he going?
Where's he going?
Where should he go?
I mean, earlier in the week, I think the one that's getting a lot of heat, I dropped the the straight up McCollum for Ben Simmons. Well, it'd be like McCollum and Covington for Ben Simmons and someone else maybe, but on paper, that's what makes a lot of sense. It heals wounds in both parties. You got McCollum, a ball handler, someone who can shoot and score. Yes, you lose defense, but you gain a lot more. over in Portland, you're getting Draymond, Steph 2.0. You know what I mean? In Ben Simmons and Lillard. In you can the pick and rolls, the floor spacing with Ben Simmons running downhill. Dame Lillard can even play off ball a bit more. It could work. It could work. You can convince me. That's why it makes sense. There was a lot flying around. A lot of what I saw was Brogdon. Brogdon coming over.
Brogdon's a nice piece.
That's a nice piece. Brogdon and TJ Warren potentially for Ben Simmons. It's a lot for the Pacers who are going through their own ish right now. Makes sense in theory. One I know that K-Dot may like too is the Spurs are getting brought up a lot and different variation of the Spurs.
Irrelevant.
The one I saw on Bleacher Report that really caught my eye, shout out to Bleachers, was Dejounte Murray, Darius Vessel, and the number 12 pick for Ben Simmons.
Oh, so then
now that's straight up. So all that package.
Oh, sorry for Spurs. I think
for Simmons. Yeah, Dejounte.
You improve.
I think Philly like it. Yeah, Philly are winning that.
I
number
think
12
that's
pick.
a bit steep. I won't take it
in a deep draft. And Dejounte Murray, whilst not a lights out shooter, can shoot the ball. You know what I mean? And he's not. You're not.
I think Popovich would be a great play, and the Spurs will be a great place for
I was leaning to that. I think if you right now he's in a psychological prison, that man. Yeah, and you want one guy to snap you out of a psychological prison. You got carrot and stick, and we know Pop is like 99.8% stick. He will be stick in a way that I think will get through to Ben Simmons. You know what I mean? Like,
mate, Ben Simmons could just be Mr. Fundamental, mate. Come on, just big guy. just be a guy. I never want to see a Ben Simmons highlight. I just want to see Ben Simmons dubs. Just one step.
Is it shit? Literally.
I mean, just operating in that area. Come on, man. You see that, surely. K-Dot's not excited at all.
Not at all.
Okay, see if you guys are excited of this. Because I knew you were going to ask this question, K-Dot. So I fired up the trade machine. Before I do that, hold on one tick.
Here comes the money.
Have to. It's official. Been so long. Right. I don't know why no one seems to be on this trade, but K-Dot, it was you who really got this into my head when in the WhatsApp group you said Ben Simmons could be a Draymond type player, which made me think, why don't we just make Ben Simmons Draymond? Golden State with Ben Simmons, they get someone who's young, great on defense. He's got height, and actually Ben Simmons can then focus on operating in the front court. It can be a great place for him to be able to reinvent himself. I think winning culture, absolutely no pressure offensively. He's young, he can develop, and I think he'll like the sun out in San Francisco. So I think swap Draymond out. Get Ben Simmons in, and what I've got here in the trade machine, it can vary because Golden State have got some picks as well. But I was thinking Draymond Green, send him over to Philly. I think mentally he's a good player for Philly to have. I think he could be a piece if they want to then move him on as well. But I think mentally for him, for them, he's a good player if they can get players around him. And Kelly Oubre, maybe you'll be able to get something out of him. If not, he's on a 1-year expiring contract. You get money off the roster as well, can help you rebuild. And Golden State get Ben Simmons. Clay, Steph, core. Wiggins athleticism, or Wiggins again, trade piece with some draft picks. Get someone in useful. Tobes, you're not convinced? I saw you already shaking your head. I think if Golden State can get someone better, I've said Cat. I want Golden State to go after Cat or Kawhi. I've said that already. If that's possible, but That was just my thoughts.
No, it's not bad. Not bad. It's a good place. That's not. We're bashing him a lot. It's part of the fun, isn't it? It's mean though, so don't do that, kids. We have to remember he did lead in the regular. I know he's capable of leading a team because they had a really insane record when Embiid was basically not out for long periods of time.
Yeah,
and when they were at their best is when he rebounds it, kind of Russell Westbrook and just charges down the court. And he's weaving in and out, and he's got mad vision. He's got LeBron level vision, so he's already seen the floor, and that vision to be enhanced and catalyzed to its full potential is when you just surround the guy with shooters. Now imagine him being in that infectious Bay Arena, just razzle dazzle, throw it to whoever the hell you want, and they can just drill it from free. It makes sense. It's somewhere where it can mask his deficiencies. You literally are just doing like for like. You're saying, bruh, just be Draymond Green. Right? Still for the love of it. And hey, if you're gonna learn how to shoot, there's no better two teammates to learn off. You know, Steph will be there day after day with Clay, telling him this is how you should shoot. You know, a lot of people are telling him he's gonna or suggesting he may switch hands. Something JJ Redick has been, who is a proper student of the shooting mechanic game.
Unless he can buy some new ones, I wouldn't worry too much about that.
You'd be surprised though. Worst cases have been salvaged. That's what makes this whole case infuriating. And that's why people question his motor, because you cannot be a basketball player and not at least show progression. Shaq showed progression. Still terrible free throw player, but at least he showed progression. Ben Simmons is not doing anything. He's flatlining. So, but I don't mind the GSW. Kato, which one's the winner?
Yeah, exactly.
Which one's the winner?
I was gonna throw one.
Oh, he had his own one ready. That's why.
Yeah. But I was gonna send him to a hellhole though.
Why are you trying to punish them?
Purgatory.
Just swirling in purgatory. I was gonna do this one. I was gonna say send him to Minnesota for D'Lo and Malik Beasley.
I was thinking that. I think I actually put that on the WhatsApp group as well. Not that trade, but that D'Lo's an interesting piece.
I just think it's a compliment. I think it complements both teams. You get a bona fide.
No, I think Minnesota, that just makes it even more horrible. They've just got
sorry. If you
that just crowds the front court, the painted for Minnesota. That's horrible for Minnesota.
They got shooting. That's the problem.
Because they got what's it? They got what's his name? Anthony Edwards, Cat.
Towns is your best 3-point shooter.
all in the restricted.
Anthony Edwards can. I don't know. I think he can develop a nice little J.
Yeah, over the next 5 years. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they don't really deserve to go anywhere anytime soon. So I just think let them all. And I actually think that in Minnesota he deserves the cold weather. So actually,
I do. You're fine.
Why does he deserve to be in a warm weather state? I think he should go to Minnesota, get like 3 months of sun, and practice his J. Like there's no distractions there. He's not, you know what I mean? That's what I think. I think he should go to Minnesota. He's under the radar. He probably doesn't need to have the limelight on him 24/7. He's not part of the process thing anymore. He could just quietly get on with his, because you look at Cat just quietly gets on with his business. And no one's checking for him, man. Who's going to Minnesota to check anybody? So I think I do think D'Lo, when he was in Brooklyn, showed that he's when the lights are brightest, he's really good. Yes, he can snitch too. But I think,
who do you reckon then, D'Lo or CJ McCollum? Who's better for Philly? Probably D'Lo. I'll probably go K Dot on D'Lo actually. Weirdly,
yeah, I think D'Lo.
I quite like D'Lo.
D'Lo's not been healthy.
Yeah,
well, you're giving up Ben Simmons for a 50 game player who, even then, when he plays, is.
No, I see you.
McCollum's a assured bet. You know what I mean? You know what he can do. He's also not actually as healthy as a lot of the people.
Would you take it 1 for 1 though? As in,
No,
No.
you're asking for something else. Like his
Philly.
values. If I'm Philly, yeah, I want. Remember, I mean, what it is it's the recency bias. You know, in 3 weeks' time, no one will. The guy's got to go. That's not. But Morty's not going to be like, I'm going to take pocket change and whatever you can find in the sofa. He's still a good guy. You know, he's still a legit. He's going to be all-star like how many times and all NBA defense. So you don't want to just give it up, because worst case scenario, right? What happens to Philly? He goes to a new team, gets better at shooting,
exactly.
and then hits a new level. Finally hits this new level, and then you look like chumps, and everyone's saying, "What were you thinking? Why can't you do one more?"
But that's why he goes to Minnesota. That's why I would go.
Make sure.
Yeah, just make sure. Yeah. Like he will not be a threat in the next 5 years.
Bro, this is gonna be for our trade block in the summer. For our trade block, this is going to be great. There's so many. You know, I think Chicago. If I'm Philly, obviously, if I'm Philly, I hold the card. I can trade him. You know what I mean? Could he be bait for a Beal or a Levine? Who'd be great on that Philly team? You know what I mean?
Washington, yeah, that would be.
That's Simmons and Ross, the worst thing I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah,
but at least Ross can teach him that
what?
you have to shoot. Like just shoot. Just shoot.
Bro,
Even if at least Ross can be like, listen, he'd be like, listen, my jigger, just shoot. That's all you got to do. Like, it doesn't matter if it doesn't go in. Shoot air balls. Just shoot. Isn't it? Like, you know what I mean?
Just rebound it. Shoot it and rebound it.
Yeah.
You get your triple doubles that way.
Yeah, that's how you do it.
You're actually right. You can imagine that conversation in the lunchroom.
Yeah, he's like,
Ben,
bro, are you a man or a mouse, man? Just shoot.
He's like, Ben, you need to shoot more. Ben's like, listen, I can't shoot though. He's like, yeah, don't matter, trust me. Like, you got what? Yeah.
Simmons could legit get a quadruple double.
Yeah.
That's what Russ will be like. You could do what I never did. You could get quadruple doubles. You just need to shoot, bro. Because you can get 10 steals easy. You know what I mean?
4 for 24, man. It don't matter. If you get double figures, that counts as a triple double. Yeah, mate. Yeah, this has been a pleasure. This has really been a pleasure. I'm going to wrap it up because we're at 1.5 hours.
Some breaking news. So the Boston Celtics have hired Ime Udoka, the Nets assistant or associate head coach. So yeah, looking like a.
So he's going to be their coach.
Head coach, yeah.
So Brad Stevens isn't doing the dual role. Brad Stevens gone up.
Yeah, he's gone up.
Yeah. Just to be GM.
So I guess it'd be interesting to see where that coaching carousel is. This.
Yeah. I know we didn't touch on it, but that's another hot story. The vacancies going on in right now.
That's gonna be great as well.
The number of female coaches in contention. Big up Becky Hammond. She's doing a thing.
Yeah.
Big for her. Also,
wait. If she goes to Orlando, I'm not sure.
Nah. Portland. She's in the final 2 for Portland. So
really,
yeah. It's her v Chauncey Billups apparently. So
yeah,
it's either a brother or a sister. So I respect the moves. It's about time. So other quick things I wanted to drop on draft lottery. Pistons got #1 pick. Rumors are they're willing to shop it. Interesting to keep your eyes out on. Yeah, they're willing to, which is big because this Cade Cunningham guy is meant to be legit.
Yeah, I think he would save that franchise.
Yeah, he could. So that's a big one. We can touch on this next pod as well.
Yeah,
and a funny one was the Harlem Globetrotters trying to start an NBA franchise.
Oh my goodness!
On what leg, my friends? But anyway,
I love that. Gents, it's been a pleasure. Ollie, wherever you are in the world, we love you. Hoop Nation, we will see you next week. The lives will keep on coming. Thanks for everyone who tuned in. Hold tight. Peace, Tobes. Peace, K-Dot.
Peace.